Okay, everybody, it is August 4th, very, very early in the morning, 4 a.m. to be exact here in Michigan. But I am wanting to get these videos out here to you and get them done tonight so I can make sure you have this information tomorrow. This is kind of a follow-up to my one where I was just talking about how this all seems like such a test, such a drill, and that they're just getting everything, planned and get all the kinks worked out to make sure when a huge one comes, according to them, between mid-September and November, that they're ready, for, how to treat everything because of the CV pandemic, okay? No, they're training on how to make sure they can control you when they use these disasters, where they can funnel you to what shelters you can go to, what evacuation routes you can go to, and what you're going to have to do to even get through checkpoints or get through into some type of a shelter, which that will be wearing masks, wearing gloves, getting tested, having your fever checked, and everything. Okay, this one right here says, MTA prepares entire transportation network ahead of Hurricane Isaias. Like many companies in Connecticut, the MTA is making preparations for hurricane force winds and heavy rain expected with the arrival of recently upgraded Hurricane Isaias Tuesday afternoon. They say they are taking all necessary precautions to protect our transportation network and deliver safe service. The MTA's preparation include train schedule changes. Here in Connecticut, Metro North will be moving to their weekend schedule for Tuesday, August 4th. Customers may experience significant delays or disruptions and should allow for extra travel time. Take extra caution when walking on platforms and stairs, watch for slippery conditions, and be mindful of overhead foliage or wires, the MTA said. They are also issuing a ban on empty tractor trailer and tandem trucks on MTA bridges Tuesday. Do you see how they can manipulate everything when one of these storms is supposedly coming at them? Okay? I mean, literally, they are changing the train schedules, telling you you're going to have significant delays or disruptions, and, you can't even look at. They are also issuing empty tractor trailers and tandem trucks, so now you can't do your job, you can't work. They can do so many things to attack you and target you using these storms and these disasters. Check this out. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers preparing vehicles from York County to areas affected by Hurricane Isaias. It says Chris Gardner from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers says a lot of people in York probably don't realize the emergency vehicles are being stored and maintained there. That just was weird. That whole sentence was weird to me. Saying that a lot of people in York don't even realize the emergency vehicles are there and maintained there? Does that mean you're keeping it a secret? It says, this was from, the 3rd, again, says, the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers Baltimore District is actively preparing for potential impacts from Hurricane Isaias, which could reach the Mid-Atlantic region in the coming days. It says, this includes preparing for potential flooding and emergency support to the Susquehanna and Potomac watersheds in anticipation of heavy rains and the effects of Hurricane Isaias, with coastal flood risk management works in Ocean City, Maryland, along with 16 reservoirs and 150 miles of levees throughout Maryland. The District of Columbia, Pennsylvania, and New York, West Virginia Army Corps officials are taking measures to reduce the risk of flooding to communities throughout the region. Okay? Let's check this out. Let's listen to this guy real quick. Let's listen to this interview.
As states brace for Isaias, help is ready to come from right here in Pennsylvania. The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers has already moved equipment into a place in York County that can roll out in a moment's notice. Fox 43's Jamie Bittner in the quiet hills of North Codorus Township that has turned into a center of disaster response.
The peaceful rumble of the water, the quiet pathway down a field, marks the calm before the storm. For For the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers, bags are already packed.
You even throw the kitchen sink in there. Just because if you get that call, then time is everything.
And the preparation for what's to come has already begun, as help will roll out from right here in our backyard.
On a minimum, we do an annual training with all of our responders.
Inside Indian Rock Dam is where the so-called office on wheels are stored, ready to go at a moment's notice.
Deployable tactical operating systems, and they are basically a mobile command unit.
But this year, disaster response is different, as crews must also prepare for a pandemic.
It's different in just our preparation.
Packing sanitizers, masks, and products to deep clean. But pandemic or not, they admit much of that is already part of the job.
We do tend to, because of a lot of the work environments that we go into in an emergency, we tend to pack any and everything that we could possibly need.
The U.S. Army Corps of Engineers stepping in from Hurricane Sandy to disasters like this from Puerto Rico. But now they'll follow CDC regulations, too, to execute the mission. And their tool bags will serve different purposes, with one goal, to bring help where it's needed most.
We never really needed face masks per se and concerns with regards to a virus.
In North Codorus Township, York County, Jamie Bittner, Fox 43 News.
I mean, listen to that. They call these things deployable tactical operation systems vehicles. He said that they have placed our rapid response deployable tactical operation systems vehicles in York and their crews with personnel from without the region on alert standby to provide mobile command and control centers and communications capabilities wherever needed. If needed, they are designed to deploy within 18 hours and serve as command vehicles or offices on wheels for first responders, government officials, and emergency planning and response teams. It says these are on stand ready to deploy wherever they may be needed and are not necessarily limited to our region. So they can send these things, anywhere that they want to. And even like they're talking, nobody even knows that, we even have them in this area. This all ties in with FEMA, okay? We know when they're in on it, we know there's an issue. That's all there is to it. Okay, and here is another one from a couple days prior to that. See, this is what I'm getting at. How are they so sure on August 1st? They couldn't even predict if it was going to hit Florida or not, let alone all the way up the East Coast. New Jersey, New York, and Connecticut voters urged to prepare for Hurricane Isaias. It says right here, says the storm, which snapped trees and knocked out power in Bahamas on Saturday, was churning toward the Florida coast and was expected to reach the northeast by Tuesday. Heavy rain and strong wind gusts have been predicted. He goes on to say, storms such as this can be unpredictable, and it's important that both commercial mariners and recreational boaters prepare accordingly, said Captain Jason Tama, Sector Commander for Sector New York, in a written statement. They know ahead. They know the plan. They know where it's going to hit. They have all the military and all this different personnel all laid out everywhere. They are setting up everywhere underneath the cover of these storms and these disasters. Look at this. They're preparing for, Hurricane Isaias. New York City preparing for possible flooding in South Street Seaport. It's nuts. Listen here. It says the impacts appeared to be limited in terms of New York City, Mayor Bill de Blasio said Monday. But my friends, we have been surprised before by storms. We've been surprised by the way they can change at the last minute. So we're in a very vigilant state right now. This is just, they leave everything so wide open so that they can say, oh, look, it changed path, or look, it got really strong, it weakened. They literally make sure they have back doors to be able to say anything that they want to say. We definitely need to prepare if you live on the East Coast. As you can see here, I will show you this. I will show you the wind, okay? Now these are, I have it set on wind gusts right now, okay? And we can go back here and watch. All right, so here's where everything is right now. Okay, and let's see. Okay, yep, it goes right now. It's only going back to 1 a.m. today, so we lost a little bit of information here when it was coming ashore, because they said it had 85-mile-per-hour sustained winds, and I could never find that. I could find gusts that were close, but I could never find, you know, any sustained winds of 85 miles per hour. So, you know, they have, you know, it seems like they blew this thing out of the proportion at the beginning of the time. Now they seem like they may be trying to downplay it, talk like in New York, you know, de Blasio saying that this doesn't look like it's going to be that bad. Same thing being said in Jersey. You know, are they doing this to, you know, kind of set people up to catch them off guard? You know, we definitely know that they are putting troops in everywhere. You know, they're putting all different types of military, National Guard, the Army. You know, it just keeps going. But let's watch this thing go up. All right, these are sustained winds now, and you are talking all along the coast here of 50 miles an hour. These are sustained winds. Okay, let's go to gusts. Look at some of these gusts, everybody. I mean, look how inland that is too, and you're getting 70, you know, plus mile per hour, you know, wind gusts. It's, you know, there's your 70. Look at your, you know, northeast quadrant, always strongest. You know, and it's gonna last too. Look at like Suffolk. Let's go here real quick. You know, right here. Look at, you have wind gust 56, 76, 61. That is 6 hours right there. You know, since sustained between 22 and 29. It's just this definitely seems like they have pumped this storm up a lot. Now watch, it gets even worse where it goes now. I mean, look, this is, do you understand how bad the storm surge could be? The way it's pulling this into here and all these different, you know, canals and, you know, oh man. Now look, here this is in, let's check out Atlantic City. I mean, look at, wow, look at that, 88 miles an hour. Wow. Now these are wind gusts, but it's the same thing. Here, let's check out, you know, sustained winds. I mean, you got sustained winds of 60 plus miles an hour, okay? A strong tropical storm. Okay, but these are, you know, areas that just cannot get hit like this with these types of things. You know, you remember Sandy, how bad that was up, you know, a little more. That's what this could be. I mean, look at, check this out. Here's your sustained wind. It looks like New York is set up on perfectly on a T. Like literally, they hit it perfect. Look where it's hitting. The, you know, the northeast corner of this, where your strongest winds are. Check out the wind gusts. Look at this. Coming into New York, you have 90 mile per hour wind gust. And all the way still down in Atlantic City, look at this. You have 92, 93, 94 mile per hour wind gusts hitting Atlantic City. Okay? Look at that. Right in here. 88 mile per hour around 2 p.m. today. These are going to be severely high wind gusts. Okay? So please prepare for this. You know, it's not so much preparing for the wind. Yeah, prepare for the wind. It's not so much prepare for the rain. Prepare for that too. But prepare to be ahead of these government officials that are going to force you into these certain areas, you know, lead you to certain, you know, they're going to try to corral you and try to figure out how you are going to let this go. If you're going to listen, are you going to take their test? Are you going to wear a mask? These storms are being used over and over again, you know, and the way that this thing runs up into here, it even gets into Boston. Let's see if I can go back a little bit. Yeah. Okay, I mean, look at this. This is inland, and you still are getting 70 plus mile per hour wind gusts. You know, Boston, you know, look at, they're getting 60 plus. New York still getting wind down here. You know, we go to sustained winds, much lower here, which is great. But still, you got Portland in Boston, I mean, you're still going to be getting, some pretty strong sustained winds for a while. But like I said, follow all of this, what's going on, okay? Make sure that you're paying attention to this type of stuff. And just make a plan. Talk to your family. Make sure that your family knows what's going on so that you can be one step ahead of this government that is definitely not out to help you. They do not care about you, so stop thinking they do. They don't. Oh, and I want to just look at this, okay, right? This is the number, 1485, so I just wanted to look that up on Strong's to see what it comes out to. 1485 didn't come out to anything that I could find, but if you break down the 14 and the 85, it says, to be willing to consent. That is the 14. And 85, listen, check this out, right? Where'd it go? Right here. I feel fear, lack of courage, am distressed, troubled. To be willing to consent to fear. I just thought that was just like they love using their numbers, and it was just like a slap in the face. That's what it seems like to me. They're just laughing at you that you're giving consent to sit there and feel their fear and have no courage to go out on your own and to fight back and to not wear the masks, and just sit there, be distressed and troubled and anxiety through the roof, depression. That is what they want. I just thought that was nuts. They love their numbers. All right, we're going to cut this one here. I hope you all have a really good day today. I hope that, this storm gets through here quick. We don't have too much damage from it. I'm sure a ton of power is going to go out. That's what they've been talking about over and over again, about how much people are going to be out without power and how they're not going to be able to get the power restored very fast because of the CV-19 pandemic, not allowing them to get into certain areas because of social distancing. So you better be ready for that. Doesn't matter what disaster you get, you better be ready for them to use an excuse from CV-19, from this so-called pandemic, to why they cannot come get your power back on, get your roads open back up, etc., etc. Plan now, prepare ahead. No fear, no panic. Continue to pray against this evil that is just leaching out everywhere. The more we pray, the more we stop it in its tracks. We are making a difference, I promise you. Thank you all so much. We'll talk to you soon. God bless.